So I'm putting this broadcast out there. This is an emergency weather broadcast, okay? We're going to talk for a minute about weather modification, but we're going to get right into what my predictions are for the New York, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., Baltimore areas, okay? This was an unexpected storm that went on just outside of Chicago last week. If you guys remember, I predicted with the weather modifications that were going on that this was going to be a strong possibility. Um, I don't know. I don't know how to get you guys to see like the reality of the situation any more than just bringing it to you and showing it to you. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to get you guys to see exactly what is occurring. Okay, this is what it's going to look like. We have an emergency power outages in the South Carolina, North Carolina regions. We're going to be getting into that as well. Okay, my prayers and my positive thoughts are with the families and everyone that's suffering through this. This isn't just water in the street, guys. This is drainages, sewer systems, reservoirs. All these things are being polluted. Okay, so we're going to get into that. We're going to break some of that stuff down. Just give me a second here. Let me switch this over. Okay, so you guys see, like, this is what 1 foot of water looks like. My prediction is that in the New York area, New York City, Washington, D.C., and Baltimore and Philadelphia are going to get upwards of 2 feet of water out of this storm system. Okay, so we're going to break that down a little bit. We're going to talk about that. Let me just go ahead over here and bring up the map here so that you guys can see what it is exactly that I'm talking about. Okay, so here we are. This is the storm system. I am sitting in the way of the storm system, so let me just go ahead and make me a little smaller. Let's get me out of the way here. Okay, I'm way down there. That's better. Okay, so this is what we're looking at, guys. This is not a joke. This is like there's people literally fishing in the streets out in Chicago. Not Chicago, the city, but like the surrounding areas. They've declared FEMA natural disaster emergencies, which we expect them to do. Like that's what they do. They've already been doing that in those areas, so this is not like any kind of a huge surprise for anyone over there. They already have their FEMA people on the ground. So hold on a second here. Let me just let's just get this right, okay? Give me a second. Okay. So make this smaller. Uno momento, my friends. Uno momento. I don't know why I have more than one. Let's do it this way. That's still not working. All right. Let's try it. Let's try this. Okay. So that should be a little better. Okay, so I'll go over here. Make this a little bigger so you guys can see what's going on here. This is like a big deal, okay? I'm going to show you a couple of the things involved with this. First off, we're concerning ourselves with the northern part of FEMA Region 4 and the entirety of the eastern side of FEMA Region 3 and the lower east side of FEMA Region 2 and the lowest part of FEMA Region 1. Okay? So we'll start with that information. I want to thank Professor Doom for pointing out the obvious with the name game situation. Okay? He got this wrong with this Michelle Obama thing. I don't think that's going on. I think that's a fake. I don't really think that came from her websites. But he's really breaking down some of this stuff, and you know, like there's some photographs out there, and there's some video clips that he's got, and he's really breaking stuff down, man. We're like all out here grasping at straws, trying to figure out what their next move is. Now, I was a little bit ahead of the game with the Hurricane Lee. I thought Hurricane Lee, the way they were stalling it out in the Atlantic, was going to be the #1 culprit for their plan, which I already stated with that particular storm, which is to wash out the I-95 corridor, okay, and also to flood the regions. Okay, so we're going to break down some other stuff. But the one thing that he pointed out with this particular storm is they named it Ophelia. And I'm glad that he went and did the work, so I don't have to, but I'll do it again anyway. Ophelia, name meaning, if you break it down, you'll see that, let's see, aid, benefit, right? But if you go all the way back to its origins, it actually means serpent. Serpentine. So he broke that down in his video. I'm not going to get into all that with this particular video, but I just wanted you guys to know that I'm not the only person out here doing this. Okay, that there's other people, you know, trying to figure out what's going on as well. Now, I do want to point out some things concerning this particular video. I'm going to have to mute my audio so that you can hear him. I'm going to include his links in the description for MonkeyWorks. MonkeyWorks is someone that I've been following for quite some time now. He breaks down the aircraft, military aircraft, all that stuff, talking about the flights and the wartime situation concerning the flights. And most recently, over the past couple months, he's really turned his focus on two aspects that I'm so glad that he's done that. The one is the survey flights. They're up to like 30 or 40,000 survey flights, the most ever in the history of our survey flight systems that we've been running in our country. He's pointed that out. It's an unbelievable amount of wealth and resources being utilized to find out what's going on the ground below. We're talking about the water. We're talking about intelligence, communications. And I'm just going to let him break it down. Let me go ahead and mute my mic so that you guys can hear him. Let me make sure we're on the right yeah, I think that's it there. So it should be able to hear it here. Let me go ahead and mute me.
I'm going to show you a video here in a minute of what happens. We've talked about Saudi. We're going to look at that again just as a reminder. And then over New York. So if you're getting really strange rain, like heavy rain, a lot of wind, and these guys are over your area, all I can say is if they're over your area, you need to just lock it down and just buckle up, because more than likely, if they're doing the seeding, that is what you're going to experience, okay? Get down over Saudi, nothing there today, which is kind of strange. They've been hitting it pretty heavily as of recently. So, okay, now let me show you this. We're going to go into some of the detail here in terms of this weather mod flight. This was what I showed you the other day and where they were spraying. And right here, this is the area they are spraying, okay? So they flew in, they sprayed this spot, and then they basically flew back to base.
I feel like I missed it, but he breaks it down. Go over and watch him. Go over and check out his content. He's got a lot of good information going on there. He literally shows you like the flight pattern of the planes, and then and they're planes by an organization called SOAR, SOAR, and they are a weather modification service. Okay, it's not just SOAR, it's NOAA doing these flights as well, and he breaks a lot of that down, guys. It's really good stuff. You got to go over and check out his content. In addition to that, we'll just go right ahead over here to the next thing. Let me just make sure I got it, because he did talk about New York a little bit, and New York's my primary focus right now, and I'm gonna explain to you why. Okay, now as you see how this this moisture pattern's moving northeast. If we go ahead and we look at the regional sectors here, let's just go ahead and pull the whole map up so that you guys can see. You'll see, just as I stated with Hurricane Lee, what I thought they were going to do. I thought they were going to steer it right into the Cape. And that's exactly where this storm is, at the Cape. All right. So it's churning. You see that there's a lot of moisture coming out of the Atlantic from this warm water. There is flight patterns that were going on all around as a result of their attempts to control and manipulate this system. So I want you guys to pay close attention to that. Okay, so you see how it's just sitting at the Cape and it's just spinning and spinning. That's their objective, to get this thing that just keeps spinning and spinning into one location. It's obvious that there's something more going on here than just your natural, ordinary hurricane. It would have made landfall, would have done many of things if this was a naturally occurring event. This is not a naturally occurring event. Okay, this is definitely manipulation. Weather manipulation. Okay, you can see, we'll get a closer look here. Let's go back a little further here. We'll go into the sub-regionals. We'll go right to this one here. Trying to get one where you can actually see it going on. Give it a second to load, guys. Okay, so you see it's moving. It's moving. It's skirting right across the Cape here. All right. This isn't weakening, even though it's making slight landfall. Okay. There's all kinds of Doppler and weather modification units and systems in place right on the Cape. That's why I assumed that they would send it to the Cape first and then move it northward. Now, they developed this storm right out in the middle of the Atlantic, right off the coast of Georgia. It's got power outages and all kinds of stuff going on. Let me pull that up real quick for you so you can see. We've got power outages, and now we're up to 36,000 as of this time, which is 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We've got Virginia with 16,000 outages. Okay, but this is going to continue as a trend right on up through to the New York area, Rhode Island, Connecticut, okay, upstate New York. All these areas are going to get knocked off. And the thing that has me most concerned about the power outages right now is, let me see if I could pull it up here. No, that's not the right. This one here, this map here. Okay, so this is very, very concerning to me, okay? And this is the reason why I decided to go live with this information immediately, because this has a blackout on all energy grids and systems in the United States. It's not a blackout that there's no electricity. It's a blackout that there's no reports concerning the transfer of energy in the United States of America, which means that none of these systems are reporting where the power's coming from or where it's going to. That's very concerning. I've never seen this occur before. Okay, so this is something that we have to pay very close attention to. And as you see, everyone that I go across, it says change from prior not available. Change from prior not available. So there's nothing anywhere in here. And this is very unusual. Okay, I've been looking at this map for a couple months now, trying to understand the transfer of energy from one power company to the next, and I'm still baffled at this complex array uh, of transfers. Okay, so I'm still baffled by it, but I'm still learning. But the one thing that I know is that every day that I've checked this, I've never seen this total blackout of the reporting. So this is very concerning to me. I don't know what the plan is behind them doing something like that. Why are they not reporting electricity transfers in regions that aren't storm related? This is going on throughout the entire continental United States right now. This is very concerning, guys. So let me get back over here, because this is the information that we need to be most concerned with. Now, I told you guys, and I know a lot of people are like, he's I don't know what he's talking about, like questionable, whatever. That's fine. That's fine. It doesn't matter if you believe what I'm saying, okay? What matters is that they believe that what they're capable of doing is going to occur, okay? So this particular site is the United States Dam System Inspection site, okay? And it lists on here all 91,000, let me scoot it up so you can see, all 91,000 dams in the region of the United States, okay? You'll see that they have different types of, whether they got satisfactory reviews or fair reviews. It's not looking good. There's a lot of dams infrastructurally they're claiming needs repair or whatever. So like they're already like giving us this, this idea, like they've planted this idea in our minds through mass media, that our systems are not good and that there's lots of failure involved. And I'll give you some examples of what that looks like. Hold on. Oh, yeah. So the weather patterns. Remember we were talking with the weather patterns, right? So it's very interesting. This is why I'm so concerned with these regions, right? Because look where they edge the smoke when they go to do their weather modification. The seeding materials are there. They just have to add the components and hit it with the right frequencies. Okay, so you have this area here. This entire area here is definitely under direct threat of wave height reaches of 3 to 5 feet. Even your local national weather services are reporting that. I think that doesn't sound like it's much, to most people that have experienced that before. Okay, and even in New York, you'll see that there's a line for the smoke here as well. And look where it is. It starts right where the island starts. This is why I'm paying close attention to this. Okay, but what I'm saying as far as the weather modification goes here is that we have 3 to 5 wave crests. Okay, doesn't sound like I said, it doesn't sound like much, but I want you to take into consideration that that's usually not a big deal if it's only for 12 hours or so, or 6 hours or so. But when you've got 3 to 5 foot wave crests that are occurring, let me go over here real quick. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. Sometimes I have it under here. Let's go here. You'll see this is the National Buoy Center. Okay. So when you have wave crests for 3 to 5 feet above normal, okay, usually that's not a problem, okay? But what I'm concerned about is it occurring over long periods of time. That can become a problem. So you see that this here's got all the different buoys that are out in the ocean, but if you notice, they also have them in the bay, the Delaware Bay, and up through to where the Delaware River drains out into the bay. Okay, so like this this is a major concern going on here. Major concern with these tides and cresting waves, okay, over long periods of time. Now, the example is what we saw with Sandy, how the hurricane just stayed in one spot for almost a week, guys, and just churned and churned and churned, okay? That's something that people need to be very aware of, okay? So, like we looked at the United States dam system. There's one dam in particular that I was looking at, and I was looking up the name meaning of it. It's called the Shahari. The Shahari, actually, the meaning of it is driftwood. And I don't know if it says it in here. I found it eventually. Word meaning driftwood. See driftwood right here? Okay, so that's one dam that I would definitely be keeping an eye on. That was our smoke and fire map. That's our power outages. Let's refresh it, see if anything's changed. Yeah, looks like it's about the same. Okay. And they're only reported at power outages. Again, this map's still all black. I'm going to refresh it again to see if anything's changed. Nothing. That's very unusual, guys. Very unusual. Okay, so another thing I want to point out is I'm an avid follower of Dutch Sense over on YouTube. And, he reported something the other day over here. And since this report, he talks about weather modifications and all kinds of stuff in this one, right? This is a very good episode to watch. But since he's done this report, he has not been back online. And the only thing that has been online is this here screen that he's put up, which is very concerning. Because I'm thinking that some of us are under attack. Now, for those that don't know, okay, and the reason I'm bringing this up, I'm going to bring this all together in a second, so you guys can see the bigger picture here. But the reason I'm bringing this up is hypothetical device or system which could trigger earthquakes, okay? Now, this is radar, okay? This is frequencies that can come from radar systems. Okay, it's just a matter of tuning in to the right frequency and then pulsing it out in the right parameters of what you need it to be in order for something to occur. I think he was on to something and his systems got attacked. Okay, I did go over to Twitch. I didn't see him airing anything over there as well. So that's a little concerning. I kind of look forward to this guy to see what the earthquake statuses are around the world. And, We're drawing a blank there. Now, okay, so the reason I brought that up is because there's a particular area, right? And it has this name, Babylon Canyon, Babylon Valley, and Fire Island Canyon, right? Okay, so I bring this up because when Hurricane Lee was out in the Atlantic, okay, it was churning and churning and churning. And my concern is that we may have actually pulled away a lot of the sediment and the ground sand that builds up this canyon. Now, this could be a concern because if this canyon, right, if this canyon cracks, fissures, breaks, or has some type of an earthquake attack occur to it, okay, some kind of some kind of natural disaster occurs, or even this hurricane, this ophelia that's coming through hits this region, okay, this could collapse. If this shelf collapses and falls down into the Atlantic, okay, what's going to happen is it's going to have a drawback, a pullback of water and land that's going to open up a region in here which could create a tsunami effect in the New York City and surrounding coastal regions. This is something that's been predicted by people in the past, okay? We've talked about this when we had the incidents going on with the volcano eruptions on the other side of the Atlantic, okay? So this was something in the past that was brought to my attention, and now it's resurfacing again in my mind about the possibilities of the future here. So the other thing is, we'll go over here. That's where it is geographically. You'll see And like I said, you know, like that hurricane Lee was right out here just constantly churning in this one spot for a week's time period. And it makes me wonder if there was like a purpose or a mission to that particular hurricane. Now, if we look up the name Lee and what it means, it actually translates, and I'll show you real quick. Lee, name, meaning, because these people give away their stuff, man. They give it away, right? Clearing, meadow, right? See what I'm saying? So, like, if they cleared the area, right? If they cleared the area enough, let's make it bigger so everybody can see, right? If they clear the area enough, this could cause a continental drop of this shelf. It's a shelf. See the shelf that goes all the way along? Okay? So if they cleared enough of the sediment at the bottom of the ocean from that last storm, and that's why these survey planes that SITREP Monkey Works over there keeps talking about, he doesn't understand why there's so many. Well, maybe they're looking at this shelf and they're looking to see, you know, how much of the shelf is actually still there as a result of their modifying it. Heavy modifying it. I want you guys to take this stuff into consideration, you know, as a possibility of what could happen in the future here. I did have a thing up for the New York dams. I do want to get into that real quick here. Hold on, let me back it up here. I'll refresh this again, man. This is driving me crazy right here. This is something that really needs to be like investigated. Like, why is all this black? Like this has never happened before. Not as far as long as I've been watching this stuff. Maybe it happens when I'm not looking. Maybe it's something they're updating their systems over the weekend. Maybe Silent Barker took it over and they're updating it that way. I don't really know exactly what's going on here, but this is not something that I can't make, you know, heck or high water it is. You know what I'm saying? Concerned about it, guys. I'm really concerned about it. Let me see here. Let me go back here. This was the valley. Let's go here. All right, so let's go into the particular region here. Total number of dams. Why isn't it giving me the one that I had, man? I'm very upset about this. Why it's not there. Maybe it's all the way at this end. Nope, 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 nope. Oh, there it is. There it is. All right, so this is the one I was looking for. All right, good. All right, so let's make it bigger so people can see. Hold on, that's not what I want to make big. I want to make this big. Right. All right, so this particular map is very useful for people that are having flood issues, okay? It applies to the entire continental United States. You see that they have all these different things going on. But right now, we have... see where it says above moderate flood stage and then above flood stage, right? These are the two that we want to look at. But you see this purple one here where it says above major flood stage. Okay, that's when you really got to be paying attention. Okay, so if you'll notice, a lot of the continental United States has areas that are above action, above flood, and above moderate flood stage. Like, this is what's going on here. So we'll click on this one. Right now, it's 2.5 foot, okay, above its normal. Wait, okay, so it says minor flood stage 1.7 foot, right? Moderate flood stage 2.2 foot. Major flood stage is 3.2 foot. Okay, you guys paying attention? I hope I didn't lose you here. Okay, if you haven't already, like, follow, subscribe, share this with your friends and family, especially those in the tri-state Northeast region. Okay, because this is important information. concerning these dams and these floods. Okay? 3 foot is major flood stage. Okay? So when you get to above major, right? Let's show you what that one looks like. I can get it to close. Right? So let's zoom in on the region here, right? So we got the 2.5. This is what's going on right now. This was last reported less than 2 hours ago, okay? As a result of ophelia. Okay, so remember, it's the serpentine. The serpentine is going to come in and it's going to flood the regions, okay? I specifically am concerned about the I-95 corridor, the Chesapeake Bay Tunnel and Bridge area, okay? It looks like they're probably going to... I'm going to make some assumptions here. I haven't looked at the news, but I'm going to make some assumptions that they're going to shut down those routes, okay? So if you travel that way, you might not want to or be able to. All right, so this is the one that right now is showing, and this is the lowest part. Remember where the storm is, guys. Let's go back to the storm real quick. Right? So you see how it has the... I mean, they made some projections. I don't think you guys can see that. Let me bring it in so you can see it, right? They made some projections. Okay, this is North Carolina. Okay, they made some projections of what they thought. This is what normally goes on, right? This is what their predictions were, right? But you see how it's like way above their predictions, way above their predictions, right? For that particular region. Okay, so let's get out of that one, right? We'll go to the next one. We just did that one, so let's do this one. See what this one looked like, right? This one, way above their predictions. Way above their predictions. Okay, you see it? And these are observed. See predictions versus observed? It's 5 times the amount. Okay? This is very concerning for flooding and high wave impacts, okay? So these are the ones that we're going to be paying attention to over the next 24 hours, okay? This is what, if you live in these areas, okay, you need to pay attention, or if you have loved ones that live in these areas, you need to pay attention to these potential flood zones, okay? Now look at this one. Predictions, right? And look, moderate flooding already occurring. Okay, we're already at 4 foot. Okay, see what's going on here? This is Virginia, 4 foot already, and this storm isn't even there yet. It hasn't even passed over this region yet. It's just starting. And remember how long Lee spun around out in the middle of the water. Okay, think about what I'm saying here, guys. Let's do some comparisons here. Moderate flooding. Okay. It's what's going on right now. This one here is high moderate flooding. Okay? Already up in these regions, okay? Up in these regions already. People think this isn't a big deal. Well, I got news for you. These are the predictions throughout the course of the weekend. Okay, this is the forecast that they assume to occur. Now, I'm going to tell you, okay, that this might not be that big of a deal. However, okay, if it occurs over a long period of time, it could be tragic, very tragic. Okay, I'm going to say that they're lowballing this, that they're really lowballing this, that it's going to be much worse than their predictions. Let's just, for shits and giggles, let's go see New York real quick, because I know they're not being accurate with this either. Look, they're forecasting minor flooding, right? but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think every region's going to go into the purple all along this entire coastline right here. From Norfolk, Virginia, beautiful town. I was there before when I was younger. It's probably changed quite a bit. But from Norfolk, Virginia, all the way up to Boston, we're going to see purple, 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 purple. Okay, guys? Purple means severe issues. Okay, so let's back up out of that for a minute. Let me see here. Let's make sure. Okay, so this was the USGS. What did they say here? They said 2.5. We already saw that it's actually looking much worse, right? But see, this is the part where like a lot of people don't understand, right? So when you have these inlets, right, this is really high. Now, why is it so? Well, it's high tide, and the ocean backs up into here. Okay, so this is the region, and it's not looking good. It's really not looking good, right? We could see what the Hudson River, right? This is why I look at this, right? Moderate flood stage, 6 foot. Major flood stage would have to be 8 foot. So I'm assuming that it's going to be the 8 foot region, okay? And I want you guys to pay close attention to that and what that's going to mean for your area. Remember what I told you about the see, there's not much going on here. Boat launch closed for the season. Okay, look, dire warnings about dams in Libya went unheeded. Okay, it's the same exact thing that's going on in New York, and I'm going to show you. Okay, so this is Georgia. Okay, that's a possibility of having problems in the future. It doesn't look like this storm's going to affect them, but you know, there's news out there, predictive news about these floods. Okay, and the dams and their infrastructure. Okay, and how much they can actually hold, and what it would take for them to break and burst. And that's what I'm assuming is going to happen throughout this entire region here. Okay, the interesting thing is, you see this green area here, it almost looks like the shape of a heart. And if you look at these lines right here, oh, sweet, thanks, Bob. Needed that. So if you look at these regions right here, you'll see these lines, right? Not only was this a tattoo on Hunter Biden's back, and you know, very well known for that, but this is also the pattern on the skull of the child whose head is cracked open by Draco in the video I Pet Goat 2. This heart is very reminiscent of the pattern of the heart on the chalkboard in the video I Pet Goat 2. So they're giving us their plans, guys. Okay, this region here, I'm going to show you on this map. The Hudson River Dam Labyrinth. Okay, that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about real quick too. Let's just see if we can find it real quick, because I know we moved around a lot of stuff here. Nope, that's not it there. Well, I guess not. I mean, we could pull it up. Let's go here. Let's pull it up so people can see while I'm doing this. Okay, because I think it's important that people know this information. Like, guys, man, I feel like I'm all over the place with this, but you guys got to understand that I really think that this stuff's all interconnected, and there's a lot of potential for catastrophe and chaos. If you don't have fresh, clean water and you live in the city of New York, that's a problem. Okay, you don't have sewer systems and the ability to utilize bathrooms in the city of New York, that's a problem. That goes for Wilmington, Philadelphia, Camden, all the surrounding regions of the metropolitan areas that this storm system is going to push through. Let me just pull this up here real quick. Because I want you guys to see this, right? Let me do it this way because it's not going to be easily found. You got to go through the filters and you got to look at no results found. Okay. All right. Well, we'll just go to our buddy because I know he's got it over there. He definitely has it because I watched it on his channel. There it is there. Okay. So this is the actual picture. Okay, I'm getting this from Professor Doom's channel on YouTube. I'll put a link in here so you guys can get to him. He's got a lot more information than I have, and he's been doing it a lot longer than I have. At least he's been telling the world about it a lot longer than I have. So if you'll notice, they use the word labyrinth, right? And the reason why this is such a big deal is because those people that put that I Pet Goat 2 video out, for those that don't know already, they deleted all their videos from their channel. And then before they did that, they waited 11 years and then they put a video out where they showed this and a guy pointing to his watch. This is actually the video here. Actually, I found it. It's exactly what I'm looking for. Great. Okay, so I want you guys to know, I'm going to play this in slow motion while I talk to you for a minute here. I want you guys to know that this video, a lot of the stuff in this video is scripted. This park is not open right now to the public. There's no Ferris wheel turning. Okay, none of that kind of stuff going on. I think everything that you see inside this video is actually scripted. Okay? Every part of it. Like, it's here for a reason, and there's something about it that can be utilized to determine the news in today's newspapers and today's news broadcasts. Okay? Very strong possibility. I think it's very odd that this woman has some kind of a bag over her shoulder with, like, looks like eyes, maybe an owl. Okay? And then there's other stuff too, like people are just like looking at weird things and they're just looking off to the side, and there's like nobody here. It's like a deserted area. Okay? I mean, are you over here filming and taking pictures of nothing? Very odd. So it's like, pay attention, watch, right? Definitely wouldn't be filming people walking in front of my camera. I've taken lots of outdoor photography and videos. I don't do that when people are walking, walking past me. I wait till they get out of the way, and then I pull my phone out or my camera systems and I take the pictures. So there's a lot going on in this video, guys. A lot. We need more people on this trying to decipher what these things all mean, right? Like this guy here walking. This is scripted, guys. I think this is all scripted. Every aspect of this is scripted. Every aspect. This guy here, he's doing the same thing that a lot of these other people are doing. He's like looking in a different direction. Like, what's he looking at? Why is he looking over there? Right? And he's just walking by. He's got his phone in his hand. He's like recording. Or does he have something else in his hand? Like, what is that? Like, I can't make out some of this stuff, but he looks at them guys, and look, you can see that he like turned like he was getting behind them. You understand what I'm saying, guys? There's more going on in this video than meets the eye. Way more. And I'm going to spend some time trying to break some of this stuff down, but September 23rd is the launch of this stuff, guys. It's the launch of it. Okay? Let me go ahead and move on. Now, the one thing that you did see in the very beginning here, right? He had that strap on, right? The one guy right here in the very beginning, right? See the strap? These guys are all together. They're all together. Look, he's standing there watching. They're all here together. This is a group of people that are doing this, that are releasing this video, and they're all staged out here. I don't know what he has in his hand, but I know this here. I just looked it up. And this is what it means. Happiness and delight. So they're taking happiness and delight, heart, bosom, and courage. Okay? I want you guys to really pay attention to what I've been trying to tell you, is that they're trying to tell us stuff in this video, man. It's going to be like, it's going to be the downfall of our civilization here in the United States, this Western civilization that we have. It's going to be the downfall of it. Okay, and that video is going to break all that down. I'm glad people were smart enough to record it and repost it so that we have the material. Now, this is the other thing I wanted to talk about. Remember, we said the labyrinth, right? So I'm going to get back to the dams now, because I know I got sidetracked, and I know I'm kind of like all over the place. I'm hoping you guys are still with me, because, you know, like, this is the stuff we need to be investigating, right? So we have, they call them labyrinths, the dam systems, okay? And they're all around, right? The one that, you know, like some of the people that I've been watching, like the Professor Doom, and there's a couple TikTokers that got some stuff out there, Mr. Halliman, okay, and some other people. They've been talking about this Isabella Dam. So this stuff can be going on anywhere. If they hit it with an earthquake or enough water to overflow it or break through it, okay, it could cause catastrophes all over the place. Let's see if the power's changed. Nope, still the same. Still the same. Looks like they got some of the power back on in that region, but it hasn't even the storm systems haven't even gotten there yet. It's just starting here. It's just starting. So let's get out of that. I want to make sure I cover everything. Okay, so we did the buoys, we did the SOS labyrinth, right? Okay, so there's the connection with the iPet goat too. Okay, thanks to Professor Doom and the rest of the guys that have been investigating that. Okay, there's the Reclamation Bureau. Okay, breaks it down a little bit. But I want to get into, let me see here. I want to get into, in that video, okay, they call this particular storm ophelia, right? It makes me think of the word Orphic, which is the cosmic egg, okay, which the snake is wrapped around. Okay, you see the snake wrapped around the egg? Okay, that is in the iPet goat too as well. So these are things we have to be looking at, guys. We definitely have to be looking at this. I'm not happy. I'm really not happy, because there's been like this underhanded sabotage that's been going on with my broadcasting over here. Okay, so I had YouTube kick me off like 3 times, and like, yeah, it could have been copyright, but that's not even the excuse they used. They actually used a different kind of excuse. Okay, I want you to remember this, that beetle that's in that iPet goat too, that's crawling across the kid's face, right? And I want you to remember that when you see these, right? See the different types of ticks and the different make it bigger here. The different things that they can transmit, okay? It's a very popular thing right now, but you see that beetle has the same kind of design on it as these ticks do, right? See how these ticks all have that dot on them, okay? Pay attention to that, okay? And then also, let me see here. You see there's one there, right? And this is the scary part, right? 450,000 people may already be infected by these life-threatening allergies, okay? Makes you allergic. I think this is the one that makes you allergic to protein, yeah, to several kinds of meats and animal products. Okay, this is by design, guys. Alpha-gal syndrome. This is by design, guys. Okay, there's your Scarberg beetle crawling across the kid's face in I Pet Goat 2. Okay, there it is right there. We don't even know if we have it or not. Okay, you're not going to know until you go to eat meat and you become deathly sick, and then you're going to find out. Then you're going to find out that you have it. Okay, so let me just go ahead on back here. We did the Babylon. We did the Mariner. We did the tectonic weapons. Okay, comes all the way back from Tesla. Let me go back this way here. I want to make sure I cover everything. This guy, we did the. I actually might want to round it out with him. This is the current status of this storm system right now. You guys with me? You paying attention? Current status. And they're feeding more moisture into it. See this? And now we got this system here coming. Interestingly enough, this system, it's like a flat line just pushing it this way. Here, look. I'll bring it in so you can see it better. You'll see the flat line just literally, look, the flat line. See, just pushing the system across so that it joins in with this moisture that's here. Okay? This is scary stuff right here. This is going to cause havoc. It's going to wreak havoc in the Northeast Corridor, the I-95 corridor, power, reservoirs, dam systems. Okay? This is a problem, guys. This is a major problem. Okay? I'm going to get out of there. Okay, so here we were with the dams. So let me see if I can close this, because I'm trying to show you a map of high flood systems. Okay, so this is what we're going to be watching over the next couple hours. We're going to be watching these sensors that tell us what's going on. Okay? This is what we're going to be watching for. All right. Go back here. Get rid of this. But you see that, like, look, they're calling it the labyrinth system. That's where we left off with that. They're calling it the labyrinth, right? So it's like I said, they're telling us what they're doing. Okay? Here's some photos of it so you can see. Like, can you imagine this just crumbling down or overflowing to the point where it deteriorates and crumbles down, and all these, hundreds of millions of gallons of water just flooding into the next dam system and all the regions surrounding it on the way, all the way down into the New York City area with already, 5-foot wave crests already in place. Okay, they're celebrating. Today's their grand day, guys. The grand day of their future or current appointment. They might have done it behind closed doors already. Their future or current appointment of the new dictator, emperor, whatever the hell you want to call him, of the United States of America, that they're going to put in place when they're utilizing all the international aid to come to our rescue. Markets could crash. People will die. Not good. Okay? Not good. Let's get rid of a few more of these. This one here is really good and interesting too. This is the New York databases dams, right? Now, this is one I was looking for earlier. So I want you guys to see this, right? In New York State, there's 1,873 dams. Okay? Satisfactory, out of the 1,800 of them, only 202 of them are satisfactory. Okay? And some of them fall on the low end, not many, right? But then we look here and we see, what do we see? Unsatisfactory, not rated. They got 1,100 of them not even rated, right? But look at how many there are poor. Poor, right? That's ridiculous, right? But how do you know, right? So this is how you know. Let's get the key up here so you guys can see the key. See the key? Satisfactory is blue. Green is fair. which isn't good either, right? Orange is poor and red is unsatisfactory. Now I want you to look at all of the Hudson River Valley all the way down into New York. All of these unsatisfactories. Well, there's no unsatisfactories here, but there's poor ones. These are all poor ones, right? So if you were to click on one, it tells you more information about it, right? So let me see here. Zoom out a little so you can see. Hazard potential classification, significant, right? And it's like that for all of them. You go through any of them. Lake Cache, significant, significant, significant. Let's see one that doesn't have it. Look, low. That one's low. But here's the problem. If one dam breaks into another dam, okay, the ones that are, have low risk could become high risk immediately and break as well. If earthquakes rock the region, okay, that's going to do it. That's going to do it for sure. These dams are coming down. That's the purpose of the earthquake, is to bring these dams down, right? There is a couple that I am concerned about. This red one here. I'm not sure exactly the path of water, but that's totally unsatisfactory, okay? Think about what I'm saying, guys. All right? I want you guys to have a plan, okay? Have a plan. Have a plan. Have a plan. Have a plan. Let me just scoot along here and see if I can find. He's focusing on that Fort Worth. He can't even see what I see with the New York situation. What his particular.
This is actually.
We'll drop that. Let me go over here. Regions that don't even have. That's the no-fly zones. Let's go back here. That's Dallas, Fort Worth. Okay, so he skirted past it so fast, right? This particular one that he's pointing out right here is the Dam Isabella and all that over there by the California. And there's all kinds of weather systems going on over there as well, as far as the manipulation goes, right? But he can't see what I see as far as this goes. And it's a shame because, it's not his fault. Like, I'm not mad at him. Like, nobody should be mad at anybody, right? But you guys got to understand, this stuff is going on, man. Like, here's the New York one. This is the one I was trying for right here. Okay, so you see this one here? Look exactly where... You see exactly where this survey flight was going, right? What are they surveying, guys? Think about what I'm saying here. What are they surveying with their 30,000 flights of your tax dollars flying over these regions where these dams and where this flooding is expected to occur? The flooding is expected to occur. I think it's going to be much higher than what they say when these storms join together in this region. And I think that the wave crests are going to be much higher than they say. And my major concern is that the Atlantic shelf that we pointed out, you can see an outline of it here slightly. This shelf region drops because of all the deterioration and sediment removal at the bottom of the ocean, and it collapses and it brings a tsunami. You don't need a huge tsunami. If you already got 5 feet of waves in a region, you don't need a huge tsunami to do more damage. You really don't. Like, it could be, a 50-foot wave tsunami would be enough to take out the entire island. And, I don't know. Like I said, have a plan, guys. Pay attention to these systems. I'm going to do my best to check in with you guys. Tonight, I will be live with Jonathan Wright on revolution.radio, Studio B, 6 to 8 p.m. We're going to be talking about these topics. I don't know what he planned on talking about, but this is the only thing that's pertinent and worth talking about, to be honest with you. And they're not talking, nobody's talking about this. This is as much as they're willing to talk about this, right? They're saying, you know, falsely claimed New York setting up quarantine camps for COVID, right? And this decision hasn't come in yet, right? But if you read this article, what's it say? The claim that New York wants to set up quarantine camps is actually an old one that dates back to the earliest days of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. But the claim has never seen life this year, with rumors starting in March 2023 that New York Governor Kathy Hochul was prepared to imprison you if you just suspected of being exposed to a disease. Doesn't say which disease. Now remember what we talked about with the ticks and all this other stuff. I just want to go over here real quick and show you guys, because I have it here. This is no. Let me see here. Hold on, give me a second, guys. Is it in here? Nope. Got to be here somewhere. Thought it would be in this one, but it's not. Did I have it under here? I did have it under here. Let's just go see if there's any protests going on real quick too while we're in here. Come on, man. I can't with this. Why it's so... See outside Fulton Jail. This is a month ago. Like, nothing new. They have nothing new. Like they're not telling you nothing. It's crazy. Let's get out of that. Want you guys to have a plan. Have a plan. Protect your families. Okay? Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Oh, yeah, we did the driftwood. We did that one already. We did the fire and smoke. It's still the same. Power's still the same. Let's see. I've never seen this. Is crazy, guys. Totally crazy. This guy's MIA. Alright, so guys got to understand, this is what they believe in. This isn't what I believe in. They have these occultic belief systems, and we're going into harvest time. We've got a harvest moon at the end of the month. Coincidentally, right around the same time that they're shutting down our government systems. Okay. But they're not shutting down Ukraine. You know, like, they're still sending money to Ukraine, but you can't fund our own government. Like, I just cannot see the logic behind any of that stuff. Not that I want our government to be totally successful, but, like, you guys got to see through this stuff. Like, there's definitely other agendas going on here. Okay? So this was the quarantine case. We have to pay close attention to this because the arguments are in. We're waiting on a decision. And I bet you it lands right around the same time that all heck starts breaking loose in New York City and the Northeast Corridor as a result of this storm, or shortly thereafter. And it'll be the next agenda that just starts kicking into high gear right behind the storm. Okay? For those that don't know, this site here, globalsecurity.org, lists all the weather weapon systems and laser systems that our militaries utilize. It's very real. This is their timeline that they talked about years ago, that they were trying to make sure that they're on track for that. They are exceeding their expectations of where they want it to be. And we are not the only country. There's other countries the countries that we are currently having conflict and war with have this same type of technology as well. So I'm thinking that it would be to their benefit to let us know if it was other countries doing it to us so that they could get people to enlist in their armies. Okay, but since there's like this media blackout on this information, and there's a lot of deception and denial of access to information that's going on in some of the areas where this has occurred, that it's our government, it's our intelligence agencies, it's our can't, guys. Have a plan. And for those that were paying attention in my other videos, if you have not watched the other videos, please go watch the other videos. Ah, did I mess it up? I jumped. Okay, so we were talking about sign language, and I told you 2, 3 is their thing. That's what they're into. They're into the 2, 3. Okay, they're into the 2, 3. They're into the 2, 3. They're into the 2, 3. They're into the 2, 3, 2, 3. Right? They're into all that stuff, right? They're into the 2, 3, right? You guys see it, right? That's what's going on here, right? This guy, right? What's he say? So many dreams realized in his lifetime. He called them dreams, but they were more on the order of hard-nosed intentions. Okay? Communal identities, okay? This guy right here. This guy right here. Occultic belief systems, guys. Occultic belief systems created our sign language. I love the fact that sign language exists. It's just as important as Braille. When I was a child, I actually went to a school in West Philadelphia called Overbrook Educational Center. We were a small group of hand-picked students in the Philadelphia school system, Philadelphia public school system, that was allowed to attend this specialized school. And it dealt with children that had severe disabilities and handicaps, including blind, deaf, and neurological disorders. There's been a lot of growth as far as the treatment of this stuff, but Braille and sign language was like a common thing in those, in that facility, that school. Okay, and there was a very small knit, family-like oriented community. For elementary school, I thought it was one of the best experiences that I could have ever have had. Not only did it get me out of my predominantly white neighborhood and my predominantly Irish, Italian, Catholic, upbringing, but it put me smack dab in the middle of people that had faith of Judaism, people that had faith of Hinduism and Muslim. Okay, so I was able to experience different cultures and beliefs, different races, different religions, and it was a great experience. It allowed me to grow up and be multicultural, multi-diverse, more accepting of others. But, I didn't learn much sign language. I did learn a little Braille, but of course, you'll lose it. If you don't use it, you'll lose it. But this here guy, man, I want you guys to understand that it's not I love you guys. This is very, very obvious that this is occultic. This is occultic. All this stuff is occultic. Okay? It was created by occultic people with occultic intentions. Okay? I'm going to leave it on this with the 23. I want you guys to pay attention here, right? It says 23, right? Your awakening. Joe Biden, Obama, Operation Crash and Burn. The love vote. Okay? It's not the kind of love vote you think it is, right? Scare event necessary. Welcome to my kingdom. You're welcome. The arrival is upon us. Mark God a king, mark God a king, mark God a king. Right? You see this stuff? 320, psychotic witch, right? But this one here caught my eye, and I just never heard of that before. So I went and looked it up, and this is what I came across here, right? This is Operation Crash and Burn. On my father and my uncle's birthday, 1/18, this was released, this information, right? I want you guys to really listen to what I'm saying here, okay? It says, I don't know if this is real or fake, which is why I wouldn't post the audio clip here. I just wanted to find out if this supposed audio leak of Joe Biden calling Hunter Biden about the classified documents is true or just another fake spliced audio clip. In the audio is a recorded message pertaining to be from Joe Biden, and it sounds like his voice, to Hunter complaining about how they are going to get off his ass about the classified documents. In the audio, Biden then tells the recorder for Hunter to contact Barack and Michelle Obama and initiate something called crash and burn. Now I want you to look around at what's going on in our society right now. Okay? There's been a lot of talk about this man leaking documents, his family leaking documents, and all this other stuff. But there's been no talk about what those documents were and who would benefit from those documents, and what is this exactly. Okay? These are the things we need to be paying attention to as a species, as westernized people. Okay? In the United States of America, in the regions of New York, the Northeast Corridor, the tri-state area. We need to be paying attention to this in our de-occultist communities, in our truth and freedom communities, and in our spiritual communities. You know, I had a broadcast running last night. It got cut short. But basically what I was talking about is, if you never heard of Laurel Canyon, the secrets of Laurel Canyon, you need to look into that. Controlled opposition is everywhere. Everywhere. Okay? Some of the people that I run with are not controlled opposition. Okay? Some of the people that you see me point to in these broadcasts are not controlled opposition. Okay? They did mention some people in that particular clip that may not be controlled opposition, but here's the reality of the situation, guys. Let me get rid of all this shit so we can talk. Because we got to talk. We definitely got to talk. That stays. This goes. This goes. That can get muted. Okay. Let me get big. Let me get big here. Get rid of that. This is what you guys got to understand. I'm wearing the Ranger shirt. I'm not no particular fan of the New York Rangers, but it's the only New York paraphernalia that I own. And I wore it to let you guys know that, like, I'm on your team, man. Like, I'm not from New York City, but I was always accused of having a cross between the Bronx and Boston as an accent, because I grew up in a section of Philadelphia called Northeast Philadelphia, in a particular section, Mayfair, Holmesburg, Oxford Circle, Frankfurt region that I grew up in. We had like the influence of over the bridge in New Jersey, the way people talk over there, and that's why I have this accent. The way people talked in South Philadelphia, you know, we talked with our hands, and we had a little bit of a tang to our talk, a little bit of a slang, you know. But I always was fond of New York City and the community that the recovery community up there. I used to go up there for midnight meetings every Saturday night. We used to take rides, man. We would have caravans of people go up there for the midnight meeting. And it was something special to do once a month, you know, for the newcomers and people that are just coming out for the first time, to go for a road trip. And there's a camaraderie that would go on in the car on the way up there, and a camaraderie that would go on in the car on the way back. And the foods and the cultures and all the movies and all the good stuff, man, the music and even the sports teams. I'm not a big sports fan anymore. I kind of gave up on the satanic ritual of watching sports, you know, but, you know, I kind of got the feeling that if they weren't satanic willingly, they were satanic unwillingly, because they were chasing money. When baseball went on strike, when I was a little young lad, I used to play baseball. I put my baseball bat down, I put my glove down, I put my ball down, and I never wanted to pick it up again or watch their games or collect their cards or any of that stuff, because I was upset as a child knowing that there was something wrong with the fact that they wouldn't play ball, and I was looking forward to their games, that they wouldn't play ball because of how much money they were or were not making. Like, to me, that just didn't add up. It didn't make sense. I sit here and I bring this information to you, and I don't ask you guys for money. I don't ask you guys for donations. I'm not motivated by money in what I love to do. This is what I love to do. I love seeking out the root of situations. I love bringing truth and love to people. I do it on group levels. I do it in my community, no matter where I'm at. North, west, east, south, north. Doesn't matter where I'm at. I plug in. I get in where I fit in. I try to help out. I've got a bag of skills, everything from tech to experience. And I bring it with me everywhere I go. I tell you guys this stuff because, you know, like, we are connected. We are all one when it comes to being the human family. Humanity is about to suffer. I told you guys a couple weeks ago, before this month started, that September and October were going to be the worst months that humanity has ever seen. And I haven't been wrong so far. And I've got news for you. If you think it was bad up to this point, it's only going to get worse. Now, there is a solution. There is a way out of this, okay? And the way out of this is to keep positive intentions, to lead with our hearts, to keep open communication and unity with others, to be respectful and mindful of others in our actions, okay? Not to be selfish, not to take advantage of others, to utilize the golden rule, and to return to nature. Because going down these roads of transhumanism and, you know, falling victim to religious dogmas, okay? When I talk about religion, I don't mean just like the church systems. I'm talking about the science systems and the political systems and the cults that exist around all this stuff. You know, like, you guys going down these roads is not going to be the solution for us. The solution for us is going to be getting away from those systems. I just had a conversation with somebody the other day because there was a big thing on the table. They were chopping WIC. You know, like, they were going to get rid of WIC. And I was thinking about, like, you know, when I had small children and how beneficial it was to have those services at the time, even though it wasn't a very holistic avenue to pursue. It helped us as a family. And looking back at that situation and how much we struggled, knowing, you know, like, those assistance programs were in place to help us. So now I was thinking the other day, I said, you know, like, they had these systems, and, like, now they're canceling them, and, like, everybody's, like, left out to dry, you know, blown in the wind. Whereas, you know, like, instead of giving somebody $300 or $400 or $600 a month in food stamps or WIC benefits, you know, if we would have just took a couple months and spent a fraction of that amount of money and educated people on how to grow their own food, how to utilize their own garden to the best of their ability, how to live more natural and more holistic. If we would have just spent a fraction of that money in a short amount of time, our civilization could have spun in a whole different direction. We wouldn't be so reliant upon a welfare system. We wouldn't be so reliant upon what is turning into a once was capitalist, now communist society. And it's going to go from communist to Nazi type society. That's where we're going, guys. Socialism is going to be their stronghold because of the lack of education, the lack of knowledge, and the lack of care. So I say all that stuff, and I want to close it out with this. Do some homework. If you're not in these immediate regions that are affected by what's coming over the next couple of days with this, do some homework. Educate yourself on how to become more self-sufficient, less reliable upon the system. Educate yourself to teach others the same and bring it to your communities. These are the efforts that I'm involved with today. And you're going to see more of that in the future broadcasts that I have. You're going to get to see community gatherings with me and other like-minded individuals coming together to promote food forests and self-sufficiency and holistic practices and removal from the system as much as possible. And this is the key that turns the locks. This is how we get out of it. Okay? You have to care about it, you have to educate yourself, and you have to do something about it. Okay? Some of the main things that are going on with our society today that's not working out is misdirected desire, lack of knowledge, which is ignorance, okay, and judgment, judging others because of what they possess or what you think they should be doing, or just a whole lot of nonsense. They're flooding us with AI generated videos, news broadcasts, weather broadcasts. This stuff has all been scripted years ago, guys. I'm telling you this over and over again because I want you to see through it. I want you to see through the BS that they have. I want you to see through your own blockages that you have personally. I have blockages between the cigarette smoking and the caffeine addiction, and like, I want you to stay tuned. Keep coming back, man. It only works if you work it. So I'm going to make some suggestions that you guys work it. Get your tinfoil ready. Create your tinfoil hats. Make sure you got a tinfoil bib, because the laser programs are going to step up. The mind control programs are stepping up. They're going to take the air right out of your lungs, and they're going to charge you to get it back. Or they're going to enslave you. These are the things that they have planned for you. If you continue to move into the system. If you move away from the system, you could have independence, proper interdependence. You could have wealth, abundance, love, light, and freedom. And you'll live in your own truth. Like, you'll live in the truth, the real truth, not the crap that they sell us here. So, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, share with your friends and family, and have a plan if you live in those regions, guys, because it's coming. Thanks for coming out and tuning into something a little different, a little alternative from the mainstream and the garbage that's been polluting our species for I don't even know how long now.